Welcome into Rover Sports, the show. Welcome into the show. Everybody here, how is everybody doing tonight? What is today? It is Sunday night, so I hope that everybody is doing, hope everybody is quite well. And during this segment, during this podcast, it's kind of a podcast. I'm hosting it on Apple, and I am also putting this on YouTube as well. You guys can watch it on YouTube or Facebook. So I'm going to now talk about Cam Newton to the New England Patriots. This is the big NFL news. There hasn't been a lot of news outside of positive corona tests and outside, deciding or debating, whether the NFL is going to have an actual football season. So today we have some very interesting news for the New England Patriots. They decide to sign a 32-year-old quarterback, Cam Newton, and Cam Newton was a quarterback that was able to get to the Super Bowl. He was able to win an MVP award. He's one of the best college players of all time. At the quarterback position. His season at Auburn is one of the greatest seasons ever from a college athlete. So Cam Newton, very, very big guy. I think he's about 6'4", 6'5". Now, Cam Newton's had some shoulder problems. He's actually 0-8 in his last 8 starts, and he's 32 years old, and he's an injury-prone quarterback in the last couple of years. His accuracy has really declined. So Cam Newton hasn't been playing well the last few years. He hasn't really been that useful, and he hasn't been winning games and winning playoff games. Now, you could argue that North Turner, you could argue that Scott Turner, you can argue about Mike Shula and about that McCaffrey was one of his only weapons and Greg Olsen got older. And you can look at the receivers for the Panthers, and they weren't even that great of wide receivers. You had DJ Moore, you had all these other guys that are just not very, very good receivers. Not even like Mushin Muhammad or Steve Smith, not even those type of guys. So Cam Newton, I think that Cam Newton personally, I'm going to give my opinion now, he's at the end of his career. He's 32 years old. There's a reason why other teams didn't want to sign him. He's only going here for a 1-year deal, and he's on the verge of retirement. I think that he's interested in doing other things other than the NFL. He's a guy that has been injured a lot. His shoulder is messed up. Part of Cam Newton, part of what made him so elite is his ability to run, his ability to not be tackled, his ability to get outside of the pocket and make things happen. So I believe Jarrett Stidham's a better thrower of the football than Cam Newton. Cam Newton might have better pocket presence than Jarrett Stidham. And the point is for the New England Patriots and for their fans is that now that Cam Newton is coming into the fold, it really is a shitty place to be if you're a Patriots fan, because this means that your quarterback of the future is in doubt, because Cam Newton is not going to play in New England for more than 2 years. 2 years is a maximum amount of Cam Newton. And I would even be shocked if Cam Newton led the New England Patriots all the way to an AFC championship game. I would be very, very stunned if this Patriots team was really competing to go to a Super Bowl. I would be, relatively surprised if they beat the Chiefs, if they beat the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. So, and also with Cam Newton, he's just been hurt for a long time. Cam Newton he hasn't been that good of a quarterback recently. Now, he's had a pretty good career. He was the number 1 overall pick. He went to an expansion franchise that hasn't had really any success in the Carolina Panthers, that had that one Super Bowl with Jake Delhomme, had John Fox, kind of a mediocre but an expansion franchise, really with no history whatsoever. He came there, first overall pick, led the Panthers to several playoff wins, was an unbelievable teammate, ambassador of the community, and Cam Newton also was one of the real talented players in the NFL. He had some really good seasons for about 3 or 4 years. He didn't really have a great offensive coordinator ever, never really had the weapons to make it absolutely awesome. And then eventually the injuries caught up with him, and I'd say the career has still been relatively successful. Winning that MVP, almost going on to win a Super Bowl, dominating the league that 1 year. That's really made his career, like, that's even taken it to a place that is well above like Matt Ryan's career, or, well above some of these other guys. I think Cam Newton's just a clutch quarterback. He's been able to win games, and Carolina's kind of been just a tough place in terms of getting talent, in terms of the coaching, and for Cam Newton and his career, he's had some injuries, and he's a very physical, player, and that's the way that he's played. And it's been fun seeing Cam Newton play the game of football. But now for the New England Patriots, the reason why it's really shitty is that you don't know about your future at the quarterback position. You don't know who's going to be the long-term starter to replace the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. You thought it would be Jarrett Stidham, a quarterback who at Auburn defeated Georgia, defeated Alabama, led Auburn to the SEC championship, played at Baylor, was a great success at Baylor, was an unbelievable high school player. You thought that Jarrett Stidham, standing at 6'3", the ability to throw the ball all over the yard, have arm talent, have leadership, you thought Jarrett Stidham would be able to come in and be your long-term starter, and now this plan is in serious jeopardy, because after Cam Newton gets hurt, after Cam Newton only plays for you for 1 or 2 more years, the best case scenario is Cam Newton proves me wrong, wins a Super Bowl, is this amazing quarterback. The problem now with New England is that they're in quarterback hell because they don't have an answer then. If you're not going to play Jarrett Stidham, you're going to continue to put him on the bench, then he's never going to get in the game, he's never going to be confident, and then his career will absolutely suck. You got to eventually put these players into the NFL. You don't want Kurt Warners don't grow on trees, or Kirk Cousins. These guys that go to the NFL and that don't get their chance to start for 4 years and are successful quarterbacks. That's not the path that you want to replicate for your young quarterbacks. And for the Patriots, I would have thought just keeping Jarrett Stidham there and starting Jarrett Stidham, you would at least see Jarrett Stidham and you at least have clarity that he could be the quarterback of the future. Maybe the worst case scenario now is maybe the Patriots staff, they saw Jarrett Stidham in practice and maybe they're like, okay, this guy is not good enough to be a starting caliber quarterback that's capable of bringing our team all this success. So now they're bringing in Cam, and then they're going to have to use a first-round pick on a quarterback. I mean, if Jarrett Stidham is not the quarterback for the New England Patriots, and he's not going to be the guy to deliver for the Patriots are in serious trouble, because then they're going to have to roll the dice on a franchise quarterback in the draft, and that is going to be ridiculously complicated. You're going to have to see how well his game translates from college. You're going to have to see what kind of scheme he played at in college. You're going to have to see then what type of leader the quarterback is, and then replacing Tom Brady. But they already had Jarrett Stidham, and bringing in Cam Newton, maybe it's to challenge Stidham
And for the Patriots, if Cam Newton for the first 5 weeks isn't lighting it up, this is a 32-year-old quarterback, then Cam's got to go. He's got to be like Tyrod Taylor to Baker Mayfield. He might just be a placeholder for Jarrett Stidham. That might just be what's going on. But you had the placeholder of Brady for Stidham, and now you're delaying Stidham. It's like Stidham's like an airplane on the track. It's like Stidham's like an airplane on the runway, and if you're going to keep that airplane there for hours and hours, that airplane is not going to be as successful. So every single game Jarrett doesn't play, you're stunning his development. He's already in his second year. If he's going to be a franchise quarterback, you got to let Jarrett Stidham, you got to let him ball. You look at Davis Webb, and all of his confidence has been shot. You look at Chad Kelly, all he does is deal in the preseason. He never really gets his opportunity. So you look at Deshaun Kaiser. Kaiser had that 1 year, and now Kaiser goes up to Green Bay, and he just loses all types of confidence because you need reps in games if you're going to be a quarterback in this league. So now for the New England Patriots, now they're relying on Cam Newton. Maybe Cam won't even be the starting quarterback, but now you're relying on an injured quarterback who hasn't played well recently to lead your franchise, and you're now putting doubt into the Jarrett Stidham train. And this could be absolutely disastrous because then you're eventually going to have to roll the dice on a quarterback, because eventually you're going to have a Curtis Painter season where you then tank and your season sucks just for you then to hopefully eventually get that first-round quarterback absolutely correct. So, I mean, how many franchises have really been super successful off of the free agency quarterback model? We're going to see it now with Ryan Tannehill. Kirk Cousins has, I guess, been successful. Jimmy Garoppolo was a trade. Where else have they? It's usually homegrown quarterbacks that win Super Bowls. Eli, Big Ben, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. Now, could this be Peyton Manning going to the Denver Broncos? Could Cam Newton be that good? Peyton Manning off of the injury, but Peyton Manning in Indianapolis is different than Cam Newton in Carolina. Peyton Manning is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play NFL football, and Cam Newton is just a good quarterback at the NFL level who just had a decently, I'd say above average career, but he's not near the legend of Peyton Manning. So all of this is putting a huge stunt in Jarrett Stidham's growth, and all of this now is putting the Patriots quarterback situation really in flux. And for Jarrett Stidham and his development, it's not good. Cam Newton, I don't view as a long-term answer. So if you're a Patriots fan, this has to be very concerning because you're now rolling the dice. You now have a quarterback in Cam Newton that's been getting hurt for years and years, and now you're banking on Cam Newton to play for 3 or 4 more years and to try to win Super Bowl championships. But I view Cam Newton, and I think his best days are behind him. That is my opinion on Cam Newton. And the Patriots now are signing Cam Newton. And if Cam Newton fails, then Jarrett Stidham is going to end up failing as well. And then you're going to be having to draft a new quarterback. And now this entire quarterback position is not all that great. So I look at Cam. I don't think he's better than Jarrett Stidham. And that's why I would have kept Jarrett Stidham and just let Jarrett Stidham do his thing. Maybe Jarrett will play during the middle of the year. They'll be like 2-3 or 3-2. You then let the young kid come into the game in his second season. And this will be fascinating to monitor. Cam Newton in New England. Will Cam Newton be successful? Will Cam Newton carry this Patriots team? Will the defense be really good? Will Cam Newton win a wild card game? Will Cam Newton play an entire season? Will Cam Newton be the starting quarterback this year and lead them into the playoffs? I'm going to say Cam Newton's going to play about 5 or 6 games. He's going to end up getting injured or something, and then Jarrett Stidham's going to lead the Patriots to the wild card. I'm saying at the end of the season, Jarrett Stidham will be the quarterback of the New England Patriots. I'm saying in 2 years, Cam Newton will be off of the New England Patriots. That's what I'm saying, okay? And Cam Newton, this is nothing personal against Cam Newton. He's a good quarterback. He's great in the community. He's a good guy. This is just an opinionated sports show. We're talking about him playing in the NFL for the Patriots. And I don't really see Cam Newton in this incredible light that guys like Chris Sims and these other analysts out there, they all see Cam Newton as this sort of unbelievable quarterback now, this great commodity. But I really don't see that. So, again, it's going to be interesting. I say Cam plays 8 games. That is my prediction. I'll say 5 games of Cam Newton, 3-2 football, 2-3, kind of average, poor football. And then Jarrett Stidham's going to come in midway through this year. And also Jarrett Stidham's going to have a good quarterback competition in training camp with Cam Newton. And you're going to see if Jarrett Stidham can also be an alpha and can lead his team against Cam Newton. And you're going to see all of this. And maybe this is all a test for Jarrett Stidham. Maybe this is all like a Gail Bedecker, Jesse Pinkman, Walter White situation of who's going to be the guy that's going to step up for the New England Patriots. So this is going to be incredibly, incredibly fun to see Cam Newton in this Josh McDaniels offense, see if he can be a pocket passing quarterback, see what kind of weapons the Patriots have. Let's look at the running back of the Patriots. You have Sony Michel, and you have the guy James White, I believe, who catches footballs. So you're going to have Sony Michel. Is Sony Michel going to be that good? Then you look at the what are the tight ends? You have Dalton Keene from Virginia Tech. You have Asi from UCLA or something. You have these tight ends that are new tight ends. You have Julian Edelman, who's a veteran wide receiver, Philip Dorsett, and all of these kind of older, or you do have N'Keal Harry. So will N'Keal Harry step up? Joe Judge is not the wide receiver coach. It's another receiver coach. Is Cam Newton going to be successful? There are not a lot of weapons for Cam Newton to throw the ball to. I mean, you don't have Christian McCaffrey. So for Cam Newton, is he going to be able to play with this group of kind of unknown players? Now, in fairness to Cam, when he had his greatest season ever, he was able to elevate Ted Ginn, Philly Brown, Corey Brown. And he was able to elevate, Devin Funchess and Kelvin Benjamin and make those guys into absolute rock stars. He was able to utilize Jonathan Stewart and utilize the running game and utilize Greg Olsen and make them elite. So can Cam Newton do that with this Patriots team? He does have Josh McDaniels. McDaniels is a good offensive coordinator. He has Bill Belichick, the greatest coach of all time in football. It is going to be a fascinating fit because the Patriots have always been a place of pocket passers. Now Cam Newton, who's kind of been a shotgun quarterback, run-read option, a guy that can roll outside of the pocket. Is Cam Newton going to line up under center? Is he going to operate a pro-style offense? In Auburn, it was spread. In Carolina, it was a ton of spread concepts. So it's a different offense for Cam Newton. It's 32 years old, and this is an amazing challenge for Cam Newton in his career and in his life. And I wish him well. I wish him success. And we'll see. Will my prediction hold up? Will Cam Newton prove this prediction absolutely wrong? What is going to happen with Jarrett Stidham in his career? Are the Patriots then going to have to roll the dice on a quarterback? Is Jarrett Stidham not the guy? Do they not believe in Jarrett Stidham through the practice process? I'm not privy to practices, but these are all things that you have to consider if you're a Patriots fan. I believe Jarrett Stidham needs to be the quarterback of the New England Patriots. Jarrett Stidham needs to be the franchise quarterback. He's from Stevensville. He can throw the ball a mile. He can throw it with touch. He has leadership skills and quality. He is a guy that can be deadly accurate. He's tall. He is a good quarterback. And I'm going to leave it at that I believe Jarrett Stidham should have been the quarterback all along. This Cam Newton thing is a distraction for Jarrett Stidham and the growth of your quarterback. And this is not going to be that good because Cam Newton's best days are behind him. That is my opinion on Cam Newton going to the New England Patriots. This is not a good thing for the New England Patriots. This will not be a successful season. Cam Newton will not win a playoff game. Cam Newton will not go to the AFC Championship. He will not go to the AFC Championship. Maybe a wild card, but Cam Newton will not be playing in the playoffs. He won't be winning playoff football games. He will not be there more than 2 years. That is my prediction on Cam Newton. We will get a lot of other perspectives on the show. I believe that tomorrow you're going to see the media be very pro Cam Newton. That's what you're going to see, that this is going to be awesome, that Bill Belichick's going to make Cam into Super Cam, that Cam is going to have a revival, that he's going to have a Peyton Manning-like free agency revival, that he's going to be spectacular. That's what we're going to see tomorrow from most of media members. That is my prediction on what we will see. But I'm saying Cam Newton, not that good of a quarterback anymore. Let's talk about Jamal Adams now. Jamal Adams requesting a trade from the New York Jets. Not the New York Football Jets, the New York Jets. Jamal Adams, very good player. Good hitter, can diagnose coverages. I'd say good in coverage, right? I'd say a better Landon Collins is what Jamal Adams is. Now, Jamal Adams, he's the spokesperson of the New York Jets. He gets on social media. He calls that, he's the leader of the team. He's like a Brian Dawkins-like player. If you talk to all the Eagles on the Brian Dawkins team, they don't all love Dawkins because Dawkins is this huge, powerful personality. He's up here. They look at the pregame dancing and everything like that, and he's there for the fans, but is he there for them? So you look now at Adam Gase. Jamal Adams and Adam Gase don't get along at all. Greg Williams positioned himself well. He says he defends Jamal Adams, but I believe Greg Williams wants to be a coach in the NFL. He won't be the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets in 2 years. You look what's going to happen now to this New York Jets situation. Jamal Adams doesn't want to be there. Jamal Adams every single day gets more and more anti-Jets. Very outspoken player. More and more anti-Jets. And this could be a problem for a coach in Adam Gase. Now, I'm not an Adam Gase fan. Adam Gase should be fired. He is not a good football coach. So you have all of these horrible, horrible pieces if you're the New York Jets. This is just the reality of the New York Jets. This is going to sound like I'm a hater. This is how I view the New York Jets. I'm not going to say that things are great, that things are rosy. I'm not going to say like this steak is a good steak if it's not a good steak. I'm not going to say that this food is good if it's not good food. I'm going to talk candidly about subjects in the NFL. That's what I'm going to try to do on when I'm on YouTube and when I'm on the Apple podcast. I'm going to try to talk candidly and tell you what I think about these players and teams. Adam Gase is a shitty football coach. He has no leadership skills whatsoever. He is not a good offensive coordinator. He does not have explosive offenses. I don't believe in Sam Darnold, the quarterback. The Le'Veon Bell signing has already been a travesty. The guy's been injured. The guy's been distracted. The guy has criticized the Jets and the medical staff. He is not vibing with the teammates. It has been a waste of money bringing in Le'Veon Bell to the New York Jets. It's been a waste of money. You look at C.J. Mosley. He's a good player. He gets hurt, though. He gets hurt. Anthony Barr on the verge of signing does not sign. Sam Darnold gets mono, and instead of going out there and finding a better quarterback, the Jets want to protect Sam Darnold's image. They want to protect his reputation, so then they trot out a quarterback in Luke Falk. They play him 5 weeks, and then they decide to dump Luke Falk and cut him after electing to use him during the crucial part of the NFL season. It's like, this guy is horrible. We're going to cut him. But we're also going to use him and have him try to save our season. Those two lines contradict each other. Those two lines make zero sense together. So Jamal Adams wanting to get out of New York, I can understand it. The owner is terrible. The coach won't even check in with an injured player. He's too lazy to go over and check in on the player. Adam Gase is a jerk to the New York Jets football team and to their players. So I get where Jamal Adams is coming from in that regard. I do get it. However, I do like teammates who buy into a process. I do like teammates that through thick and thin are going to be there. And Jamal Adams has had a lot of thick and thin. He hasn't had a lot of unbelievable times with the New York Jets. He is upset, and I get it. It is not a great operation over there. So Jamal Adams for the New York Jets, he doesn't really vibe with the team. He's a good player that has value. And I don't think Jamal Adams will ever be happy playing for the New York Jets. I think the ship has sailed and it is over. Kind of like Odell Beckham and the Giants was over, this is over. This is square peg, round hole. This is not working anymore. Jamal Adams is becoming more outspoken on social media. I think at times Jamal Adams is too much. If I was a team looking at Jamal Adams, I think he's too expensive and a little too loud on social media for my liking. I don't know if Jamal Adams is like the most unselfish with buying into a team. I think when things are good, things are good. I just think that he's a little outspoken, just a little too much negativity, kind of like Yannick Ngakoue, if you're talking about players trying to leave a team. Is Jamal Adams is he a good football player yet? Yes, he is going to be one of the highest paid safeties. He's been a good football player. Has he dealt with a ton of shit with the New York Jets? Absolutely. He has the right to be frustrated. There are tangible things about Adam Gase, about McCagnon, about Todd Bowles that he can be frustrated in. He's never had a quarterback or an offense. Is Jamal Adams going to be a really good fit? Like, would you go out and trade for him if you're a GM? I don't know if I value the safety position that much. I look at Jamal Adams and he's becoming a little bit more polarizing. I'm not saying Jamal Adams is Antonio Brown, but players change over time a lot. They change over time. When Jamal came into the league, he didn't really have Jamal Adams when he was a rookie in the NFL. You're quieter as a rookie. You get better and better. You get fans. You get all of this. And Jamal Adams now is acting above the New York Jets. So I believe that both parties are at some fault here. I think Jamal Adams is making more drama than necessary. His goal is to get out of New York. That is Jamal Adams' MO, is to get out. And the Jets, there's no choice but to trade him. It will help Adam Gase when he's traded. It will help Sam Darnold. It will help the situation. So it's a little bit complicated because Jamal Adams, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think that Jamal Adams he's a decent leader in part. I think he's on social media, though. He's getting a little bit full of himself. And it's just tough. It's a tough situation to talk about Jamal Adams in this light. And for the Jets, I just think that you look at Darnold, you look at Adam Gase, you look at Chris Johnson, and Christopher Johnson's going to stay. But I believe Greg Williams, I think that everybody is going to be fired this year. I think that there won't be a Darnold in 2 years. There will not be an Adam Gase. There will not be a Greg Williams. There will not be anything resembling this team. Nothing will stay from this year. Not one thing. So even analyzing it is like analyzing a house that's going to be bulldozed in a year. It's like saying, about Veterans Stadium before it was knocked down in Philadelphia. Like, hey, are you excited about Veterans Stadium? It's like, the stadium's going to be knocked down in a year. So every time we preface this Jets conversation, the whole team will be torn apart in an entire year. It will be gone in a year. Everything will be torn apart eventually. There is nothing that's going to stay. Darnold is not going to stay. Adam Gase is not going to stay. Le'Veon Bell's not going to stay. Greg Williams, you will have a new coach, a new quarterback, a new star player, and you are 5 years away. You should start planning for 5 years away right now. this whole organization is absolutely a joke. It's a travesty. It's a joke. They make wrong decision after wrong decision. That is New York Jets. And they listen to the fans too much. They don't do the unpopular thing, which is really holding Sam Darnold accountable, which is really holding Adam Gase accountable for his actions towards his players, not supporting them when they are hurt. Adam Gase, just last year, he's not communicating with Jamal Adams. He's not communicating with the star players. Jamal Adams, you could communicate with him. You could communicate with the team. Team bonding is absolutely huge. And Adam Gase and the staff, they refuse to really get to know these players. So that's just how I see it. That's how I see the Jets. That's how I see Jamal Adams. That's how I see the situation kind of going on there out in Jetland. So those are my thoughts tonight. And 30 minutes of thoughts on the big stories in the NFL. All right, guys, take care, and thank you for listening and watching the show. Take care.